this is Shan Chandrasekar welcoming you to another delightful part of our programming. As part of the tribute to 100 years of Indian cinema, we are delighted to present today an outstanding individual from the Indian film industry, your favorite, Harshdeep Kaur. Harshdeep, it's a pleasure having you on the show.
It's an honor to be on your show.
Well, Harshdeep, our congratulations to you. Your song from Jab Tak Hai Jaan was an outstanding piece.
Well, I can say Heer is a dream song for me because I've grown up listening to so many Heers sung by many singers like Jagjit Singh ji, Ghulam Ali Saab, Abida Parveen ji, and so many other folk singers who have sung Heer. So I always used to dream ki kash meri bhi apni ek Heer ho. And that dream came true thanks to A.R. Rahman sir. He called me when he was giving the music for Jab Tak Hai Jaan, and I felt even luckier when I got to know that Gulzar Saab is writing the lyrics and Yash Chopra ji is directing the movie. So I was like on cloud 9 and I thought, how lucky am I? And I was really, and I still am, always grateful to God for that opportunity.
You just mentioned some of these stalwarts' names,
Yes.
Jagjit Singh ji, Ghulam Ali ji, and A.R. Rahman, Yash Chopra ji. The common denominator is that as part of our tribute, ATN's tribute to 100 years of
All
Indian
of them
cinema,
are
they've
there.
all been in the studio here with
Wow.
us
So
at different times.
I'm honored.
You're one of the topmost singers incorporating Sufism into our music, especially to make it popular through the film industry. The cinema is one of the most powerful mediums in India. So tell me about that influence.
I think I feel very lucky that I'm inspired by Sufi music, and I feel lucky again that God has chosen me as a medium to do little service to humanity in the form of music. So being a youngster, I feel that it's my responsibility to promote good music in the youth, and because the youth is not just into popular music or music that doesn't live very long. We are also into serious music,
Right.
and that's what I want to tell the audience, that we as youth are also into serious music, and Sufi music being one of that. So I try to mix Sufi music with rock music or maybe Punjabi music and try to popularize it, especially during my live concerts. So that's a small effort that I try to make.
That is fantastic. You grew up in a family with enormous amount of art and culture around you. Your parents, ran a very successful, and they continue to run a very successful manufacturing business with musical instruments.
Yes.
And you, as a child growing up, you were helping your dad, from what I understand. So tell me about that.
Well, I'm lucky that I was born in a family which encouraged music and encouraged the kids in general. And if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't have been sitting here giving this interview. Because if I wanted to become a playback singer and if my parents didn't support me, I wouldn't have gone to Bombay or left my house in Delhi and lived in a new house in Bombay and meeting music directors, giving them my demo CDs. It was a huge struggle and a big process. So I wouldn't have done it without my father.
That's wonderful. We talked about the Here. Just hum that first line for us from that
Sure.
hit film. That song became such a big hit.
Thank you. हीर हीर ना खोड़ियो मैं ते साहिबा होई कोड़ी लेके आवे ले जाए मिर्जा कोई.
There was another hit of yours.
ये जवानी है
You
दीवानी.
did a beautiful song there.
Yes, the song is called Kabira. Re Kabira मान जा रे फकीरा यूं आजा आजा तुझको पुकारे तेरी परछाइयाँ रे कबीरा मान जा रे फकीरा यूं न जा कैसा तू है निर्मोही कैसा हर जाइया.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
It's a beautiful composition by Pritam Da. I'm a big fan of him. So this is a song which I also sing in a lot of weddings, and people sometimes cry also. Here it goes. You
have a distinct advantage of having learned both classical music as well as Western music.
Yeah.
So I heard that you were trained on the piano itself, I believe as well. So tell me a bit about this combination of both.
Actually, for me, music is everything.
Right.
So this was my study, apart from my school and my college. Music was my only study. It is my only study, and the learning never ends. So जितनी ज़्यादा knowledge मैं gain करने की कोशिश करूँ या जितनी ज़्यादा knowledge मैं लूँ, उतना मेरे लिए अच्छा है. So I trained myself in Indian classical, Western classical, and even piano, so that I know the chords and everything.
Wonderful.
And being in Bollywood, you need to be very versatile. So you should know all styles of music, and that's the reason I learned all styles of music.
That is fantastic. You know, do you have a preferred key when you sing?
No, I have a preferred range where
Right.
I can sing in.
Right.
So, but it doesn't matter which key it is. I, choose the notes that suit my voice the most.
Okay. When you say suit your voice the most,
Yeah.
now when a producer and a music director has approached you, and they say, now this song is for Katrina Kaif,
Yeah.
or somebody else says, okay, I'm sorry, this is now for some other star.
Okay.
Does it make a difference to you in terms of how you render that particular song?
Definitely, you get a picture in your mind and you start imagining yourself. And if I know I'm singing for Katrina Kaif, maybe I'll just imagine Katrina's face or her body language, and I'll try to be Katrina Kaif behind the mic. And if it's someone else, I'll try to inculcate those characteristics in my voice. So it definitely helps if you have a visual in your mind.
In addition to the film industry, you became a hit in one of our serials that was on one of our channels here
Yes.
in Colors.
Yes.
And that was Bani Ishq. Yeah. So tell us about that particular theme song, and you were actually featured as
Yes.
well. So tell us about it.
Well, it's the first time that any singer was featuring on a daily soap as a storyteller.
Right.
So it was a different opportunity for me. I just wanted to be sure that the song is good, and luckily it was a Sufi song.
Right.
So I wanted to be a part of this, and the reason behind the show was to show awareness about some NRI weddings taking place, and
Right.
women in Punjab, they get married and the guys go to the foreign country and they never call them. So it was a very touching story, and it actually happens in India.
Right.
So I wanted to be a part of it, for awareness, and the song was so good. It's called Saiyan Mere Saiyan, and we shot for it, and it was a good experience, shooting for a TV serial, because we normally watch it on TV, and then
Right.
suddenly watching yourself on the small screen in a daily soap was
Right.
really very new.
Right.
And people started recognizing me more after that, because the ladies and youngsters, they all watch TV, they all
Right.
watch TV dramas.
Right.
So some people don't know my songs, but they know me from that serial.
Right, right.
Because they watch it every day.
Sure.
And if you're on TV, you become a household name.
Right.
People feel that they know you.
Right.
So that helped me a lot, and the song is beautiful. I loved singing that song.
Well, why don't you please give us just the first line of that?
तू चला था बदलण अपने किस्मतां दे लेख नू, पर भला क्या मंदा क्या है ये ना पाया देख तू, तेरी सोची जद ना होई तूने हर दर छान के देखा, 100 मन्नत मांगी तूने पर ना अंदर झांक के देखा, बैठा तेरे अंदर साईं मान ले उसका लेखा, बंद हुई एक राह तो उसने रावां लाख बनाइया, हो साईया मेरे साईया,
Beautiful.
तू तो सब कुछ जाने मेरे साईया.
Now let's go to Rockstar. You had a big hit in that
Yes,
movie.
yes.
So tell us about that song.
I think Rockstar has been one of my biggest milestones in my career, and all thanks to Rahman sir again. Before that, I had sung many songs, but they weren't as popular as Katya Karu became, because it was promoted well. It was a huge film. It was A.R. Rahman's music, A.R. Rahman doing a Punjabi song, and it wasn't a Hindi Punjabi song, it was totally a Punjabi song. So people were really surprised to see that a person like A.R. Rahman, who's a South Indian, he could create a typical, authentic Punjabi song. So that song really means a lot in my career, and people started recognizing me with that song.
So sing the song from Rockstar for me.
Sure. Ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ding-a-ling-a-ling, कत्या करूं तेरा रूं कत्या करूं तेरा रूं तेरा रू 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 सारी रातें कत्या करूं सारी रातें कत्या करूं
Dil Vil Pyar Vyar.
हाँ जी.
Okay. Now there was another big hit song from you in that. So tell us about that.
This song is a very typical Punjabi folk song. It's based on a folk tune. And the good part was that Gurdas Mann was the hero of this film.
Right.
And he is such a legend in himself. And I used to listen to the stories of my dad that, Gurdas Mann used to sing in his band. So I've been listening about him since I was a small girl. So it was good to sing in a film with Gurdas Mann Saab, and a song is very peppy. It's a duet with Sunidhi Chauhan.
That's wonderful.
So very rare female duets these days. So this was one of them.
That's wonderful. In fact, it's amazing. The majority of the names that you've mentioned, they were Gurdas Mann sat right here in this same chair several years ago when he first introduced Chella.
Wow.
Okay, and he's part of our tribute to 100 years of Indian cinema as well. And same as Harbhajan Mann as well from the Punjab industry. Now, can you just hum that tune for us, please?
Sure. हो सानू ते ऐसा माही ले देने माए सानू ते ऐसा माही ले देने माए दिल दी जो रमज पछाणे सोना बेशक सोना होवे ना होवे सोना बेशक सोना सानू ते ऐसा माही.
The perfection with which you do these gamags, and the feeling with which you control your voice, it's just absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
The feeling that comes out of you is just superb. So is that something that in doing your riyaz that you consciously practice?
I think it's just the love for music. I love singing, so I think it comes out through my singing.
Okay, because you have so much love for music, when you were a child growing up, because we are talking about a tribute to 100 years of Indian cinema, who were the people that you adored and admired as a child growing up in terms of singing, playback singing in the industry?
Lata ji, Asha ji, the pioneers of music. But I was very impressed and inspired by Reshma ji, because initially, as a child, I used to love singing her songs because they suited my voice and they were in my range. Like Lata ji and Asha ji's songs were very high for my voice because mine is not a typical female thin voice, it's more thick.
Right.
So Reshma ji's songs really suited me. Jagjit Singh Saab, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Saab, Ghulam Ali ji, and these all are the singers who have inspired me.
Well, no wonder you're into Sufi music because, of course, the great late Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, we featured him on our network as well.
Wow.
and we did his live show here, in fact, at the Roy Thompson Hall. Now, people of that caliber have inspired you. Reshma ji, why don't you do one piece?
One of her songs called Hayo Rabba Nahi Lagda Dil Mera is one of my most favorites, so I'll sing a few lines.
Okay.
शेर बमार दी कुड़ियों तुसी नक च नथ ना पाइया मैं भुल गई तुसी भुल ना जायो यारी नाल बलोच ना लायो.
Beautiful.
हायो रब्बा नहीं ओ लगदा दिल मेरा हायो रब्बा नहीं ओ लगदा दिल मेरा.
You have an enormous talent. Not only are you a great singer for the feature films in terms of playback, but you're fantastic on stage. You have enormous stage presence. And it started with your early participation in terms of reality shows. You won every major award in the reality shows.
Thank you.
And we won several awards since then as well. So tell me about some of these awards that you have received.
Well, since childhood, I've been very active on stage and taking part in competitions. And then there was a MTV Video Gaga contest, which I won in 2001. And then came Junoon Kuch Kar Dikhane Ka. It was a very unique reality show which featured 3 different genres, Sufi, folk and Bollywood. So I agreed.
Rahat Fateh Ali
Yes,
Khan.
he was
and,
my mentor.
Yes, and then Amitabh Bachchan gave you an award.
Yes.
Right.
Like he gave me the first prize. And
Right.
so that was a big learning experience and turning point in my career.
जुनून कुछ कर दिखाने का is Harshdeep Kaur of Team Sufi ke Sultan.
What can people expect from the great Harshdeep Kaur?
Well, I've sung for a couple of films and which will be releasing soon.
Yeah.
And as soon as they release, I'll give you a call and you have to play those songs on your channel.
For sure. Anytime.
That's a promise I'm taking.
Absolutely. Anytime you need anything, it's for the asking. May God bless you.
Thank you so
It's been
much.
an absolute pleasure having you in the program with
It was
us.
an honor to be on your show. Thank you. I think what you are doing is really inspiring for people like us, for musicians, artists, for actors and people who want to be associated with the TV industry. And this huge, I would call it an empire. Like in Bombay we have Yashraj Studios. I would say in Toronto and in Canada we have ATN Studios. And it actually shows the hard work and the dedication it shows. And after meeting you, I am inspired to do even better in my life.
Oh,
Thank
gee.
you.
Thank you so much. You made
Thank
my
you.
day.
Thank
and
you
it's
so
such
much.
an honor to
Thank
have
you.
you. And
Thank
such a
you.
pleasure to have you in the studio
Thank you
with
so
us.
much.
Please convey my love to your parents and
will.
wish them all well. They have every reason to be proud of you.
Thank you so much.